In this matrix ruled by likes, shares, followers, applause, and external recognition, it is becoming increasingly difficult to stay true to one's inner vision. The craving for validation, especially in the digital age, is seductive, relentless, and addicting. Every man and woman seeking to birth something meaningful in the world must face this fork in the road. Will you live for applause or a purpose? Will you die trying to impress others or rise in devotion to a vision only you can see? Choosing vision over validation is a spiritual decision. It is a choice to be led by a deeper compass than public opinion. It is a rebellion against the tyranny of being liked, and it is the only path to greatness. This video explores what it means to choose vision over validation, why most people don't, the cost of choosing validation, and the power that comes when you fix your eyes on your vision, no matter who claps. From the time we are children, we are taught to seek approval. Be a good boy. Be a good girl. Sit straight. Smile for the camera. Get good grades. Make your parents proud. Validation becomes a drug. Small doses at first, but eventually, our sense of identity gets fused with how others see us. Then comes the age of social media, where everything is measured. Likes, shares, comments, reactions. Now, people don't just crave approval. They engineer their lives for it. They perform instead of live. They post instead of create. They mimic instead of innovate. Why? Because validation is easier than vision. Applause is instant. Vision is long-term. Validation gives a dopamine hit. Vision gives you discipline, loneliness, and late nights. But make no mistake, choosing validation over vision is the path to slow death. You become a shell, a clone, an actor playing someone else's part. You may be loved by the masses, but hated by your soul. That's the price of not following your vision. Vision is divine. It's not a goal you write on a whiteboard. It's not an affirmation you repeat in the mirror. Vision is a fire in your spirit. It is a seed planted in your soul by something higher than you. Vision is the long-range calling that won't leave you alone. It shows up in your dreams, whispers in your silence, and nags you when you're trying to fit in. Vision is not always glamorous. Sometimes it demands sacrifice. Other times, it asks you to walk away from people you love. But vision, when honored, creates legacy. Every great leader, innovator, creator, and warrior you admire had to walk to the fire of isolation, doubt, and misunderstanding to stay loyal to their vision. Because the truth is this: vision will often make you look crazy until it makes you legendary. Here's the dangerous thing about validation. It feels like success. You get likes on your post. People tell you, you're doing amazing. You go viral. You get claps from the crowd. But what happens when you turn off the phone? What happens when the lights go off? Many people are successful in the eyes of the world, but bankrupt in their soul. That's because they traded their vision for approval. They stopped being led by truth and started being led by trends. And trends change fast. Validation is external. Vision is internal. Validation is fleeting. Vision is eternal. Validation builds fans. Vision builds foundations. Choosing vision over validation is lonely. Most people are too addicted to approval to even hear their vision. They are so loud, so distracted, and so busy with what everyone else is doing that they never slow down to ask, what do I really want? What am I here to build? What if I stop trying to be liked? Fear keeps people bound. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being rejected. Fear of being the only one who sees a mountain when everyone else is happy playing the dirt. But visionaries are not people without fear. They are people who move anyway. They are people who say, I may lose popularity, but I will not lose purpose. Choosing vision over validation is an act of spiritual war. You're declaring, I will not bow to the gods of applause. I will follow my inner truth, even if it costs me everything. Every man or woman with a powerful purpose will come to a crossroads. At that moment, they must choose, will I dilute my message so more people accept me? Will I delay my calling so others feel comfortable? Will I betray my truth just to avoid criticism? Or will I burn the bridge to validation and walk toward the fire of vision, knowing it will cost me, but also knowing it will liberate me? You cannot serve two masters. You cannot be a revolutionary and a people pleaser. You cannot walk in power while still begging to be liked. The moment you choose vision over validation is the moment your real life begins. Vision cannot be received in noise. It needs stillness, silence, separation. The modern world doesn't allow much of that. So most people are vision-starved and validation-fed. But the man or woman who learns how to be alone long enough to listen will start to see what others can't. Vision downloads in solitude. It's in the silence that you hear the call. That's why so many great creators, writers, inventors, prophets, and leaders spent seasons in isolation. You must disconnect from the world long enough to remember who you are, to see what you were sent to do. You cannot be tuned into everyone else and still stay true to yourself. Choosing vision over validation is costly, but the reward is divine. What are the rewards? Freedom. You no longer live for people's opinions. That's rare. That's powerful. That's magnetic. Clarity. Vision clears your path. You stop second-guessing. You start building. Alignment. You attract people who resonate with your truth, not your performance. Power. When you walk in your vision, you are tapped into a source of divine energy that can't be faked. Legacy. Validation fades. Vision leaves footprints that time can't erase. The greatest empires, movements, and creations in human history were not birthed from validation. They came from visionaries who saw what others didn't and kept building, even when mocked, hated, or ignored. What do you sacrifice when you chase validation? Your authenticity, your creativity, your soul, your mission. You become a slave to opinion. You post what's trending instead of what's true. You speak what's safe instead of what's sacred. And soon, you don't even recognize a person in the mirror. Validation is the enemy of originality. If you want to be different, you must be willing to be disliked. That's the real price of freedom. How do you begin to shift from validation to vision? Here are 7 steps. Turn down the noise. Take time to unplug. Social media fasts. Silent mornings. Disconnection breeds clarity. Audit your actions. Are you doing this because you believe in it, or because you want to be liked? Revisit your purpose. What were you put here to do? What is burning inside you that won't go away? Practice saying no to invitations, to distractions, to praise that tempts you to conform. Seek depth over popularity. Aim to go deep, not wide. Impact 10 souls fully over impressing 1,000 superficially. Let go of the need to be understood. Not everyone will get your path. That's fine. They're not meant to. Keep building quietly. Vision matures in silence. Build, create, evolve. Let your fruit speak. Becoming a vision-driven human. The world needs fewer influencers and more visionaries. Fewer people mimicking trends and more people birthing truth. Fewer performers and more prophets. Fewer people who chase applause and more people who chase purpose. When you choose vision over validation, you walk a narrow road, but it's the road of kings, of warriors, of artists, of revolutionaries, of those who left the world different than they found it. You were not born to fit in. You were born to build. You were not born to be liked. You were born to lead. You were not born to entertain the crowd. You were born to wake the soul. So silence the noise. Walk away from the stage. Stop chasing claps. Go into the wilderness of your own spirit and find the fire that cannot be extinguished. That fire is your vision. And when you choose it over validation, the world will not understand you, but it will never forget you.